Great and beautiful morning and evening to you all, wherever you're joining me at this hour. Welcome to 580th edition of Invest Data Trading Academy Live with Ambrose. Yes, good one that the market is starting on a positive note for the full second trading week of February. And good news that we're seeing earnings hitting left and right from most of the market across the globe. Matured market, local market, emerging market, we're seeing results coming from here. Corporate action when I mean results hitting this market. And good news that most of this market across the globe and also in Africa, domestic market here in Nigeria, we're seeing that all are in green at this hour. This is a good news. Yes, despite the threat of political tension, trade tension, or even seeing some alignment among the international economy moving from one to the other. This is still that yes, we are seeing a lot of opportunity in the global economy, and that for me is a good news for the whole market, both local and international market. As we speak now, let's start from what from Asia as usual. Don't forget this where we take our trade when we start our discussion anytime, any day. As to speak now, tell that most of the market in Asia, and I mean Asia market generally are looking in green. And I'll tell that this is a sharp movement this one we are seeing. Following the win in Japan, which also have boosted that confidence. Also we are seeing that also demand for tech companies has also resumed again. We are seeing a candle or a buying interest and candle or a buying interest in a tech companies. These are what is also in a tech companies. These are what is also impacting the market right now. As we speak, Asia market is up sharply following the tech laid a rebound last week, and at the same time, what is happening in Japan. We saw a surge of shares and predicted that there's a correlation between politics and the economy and politics and what and the market. You can see that the successful election that was held in Japan, where the Prime Minister Tokachi of ruling coalition, I see that securing a victory for on this. You can see that with the vote result on this, you can see that with the vote result done or political activity just concluded or stay on go that will trigger positive sentiment, expecting to see good reforms in that economy, going to see more spending and all that. That also triggered that as we speak now, I'll tell that Japan market are hit all-time high, about 57,000 mark now, in terms of their index, also good news. And also I'll tell you in all this, we're seeing also risk appetite also improving across most of the region in this and also after also US index are also rebounded probably on Friday. These are what we are seeing there. It's a recovering part we are seeing in this matured market. And I tell you that don't forget that we have seen losses before now, but this because the losses was is majorly as a result of what losses was is majorly as a result of what sell off most of the any artificial intelligence or related companies or tech companies, all these even the chip makers were seeing all of them pulling back now, but we're seeing a rebound. Even as we speak now, we're seeing that gain across what most of the Asia market right now as we speak. Like I said earlier, the Nikkei index with the 225 is up by 5.6% right now, trading around the 7,337.07 right now as we speak. It was impacted positively by what the political clarity after Takan Chen. The ruling coalition also secure overwhelming vote majority in Saturday low house election. These are what is also for me the good news. And as we speak now, even in South Korea, we're seeing also the index also dropping by 3.4% up, and this at the peak of 3,825.67. You can see that how this also is affecting other regional market because freedom in policy decision and also strengthening our ability also to push more for economic and also some foreign policy group. These are the things we are seeing that going to. That's why we are seeing that market expected this and market also is reacting to the outcome on that. For me, it's the good news as we speak. Like I said that the rally in this South Korea is also very and as we've seen gains in even US chip makers and also other AI related shares that help to to lift up kind of part this sentiment we're seeing in Asia market as as the week is starting. For me, it's a good one for this week. if this momentum was seen this early morning or this hour in different, wherever you are joining this hour in different market is sustained for this week. But I believe that as more earnings are coming, we expect to see this momentum to come because this what we call portfolio restructuring, sector rotation will continue across many markets this because of this world, this job was seen. And I can see that most of tech-related companies are the one impacting this stock. Consider Samsung and electronics, are also gain shares that gain about 5% this hour. After a result, after a report that said the chip maker will begin mass production of its next generation HBM4 memory chip. Later this month. These are the things that also were seeing demand. But if you look at Australia market up by 2%, Singapore is up by 1%, and I say that India is not left behind. India is also up by 0.1% higher, with investors assessing the world. It is on US and it is on US and Indian trade framework. These are the things. But I believe that Asia investors are also looking ahead to the key US economic data this week. This also including the delayed job and the inflation report that will also give further clue on the outlook of interest rate and also global growth at the end of the global growth at the end of the day. But I believe that this is a way to start the week. It's a good one. Let's quickly look at what is happening in Europe. Europe stock, I know it's not left, market is not left behind. As a quick, I can tell that Europe also have started on a good note, and it's a lot of what I tell that once you see global, I tell that whenever you see global market, on fire like this, something is also pushing it. When it's also down, it's also realize that you must know the story behind any market, any stock, any sector at any given time. It helps you to know to take what informed investment decision anytime, any day. As to speak now, I think that United Credit shines, and the shine also there. This also another stronger busy week for European market. For good news that the market has started on Monday on a busy note that we'll see more quarterly earnings hitting that market, heavy ones, every company, and also revealing impact of what this economic data as released to the market. It helps you to see a clue where this this part of the global market will also be going. As to speak now, I can tell you that DAS, which the Germany index, is up by 0.5, and that of CAC 40 in France is also up by 0.1, and that of UK market, which is the FTSE 100, is up by 0.2. Good one. We're seeing the unique trade also credit lead off lay off sorry, that also release their weekly result. And now I say this one also more of telling you what is happening in that zone. And to see this result, it has a way of telling you exactly how these numbers are looking. And these numbers are also including more information. I believe that this quarter result we are seeing is well for me, on that way in Europe will give more insight on what these companies are gaining from economic recovery and economic stability in that region. I believe that as when including these giants in that zone, to see a better number, and also see how going to report this week positively, and to see how the market will record all these corporate earnings, quarterly and full ones, releasing also coming also positively. For me, it's a good one because I see these numbers jumping, and the result reported by the unique credit shows that yes, the annual profit is about almost 10.6 billion euro. Or these are the things that we should also put in mind. Also, we are seeing also that on year is up or now 14%. That's a good one. And net profit also forecast and also net profit also looking not bad. Let's wait up and see. Pay attention to look at all this data, all these earnings, give us more information. And we expect to see more corporate earnings in that week. And that's also from US to see some also economic data. I expect to see the job data, to see inflation, to see that this week. We'll press the I do, but I'll tell you that crude is also looking down marginally on on Iraq talk. I tell you this morning as we speak now, because of the US Iran agreement to negotiate over Middle East nuclear ambition. Let's see how it's going to come in now. Also, we're seeing a little stability. Just trying to make sure that this week, we speak now, crude oil dropped to trade at 87.46 right now as we speak. While the West, the other one, which is the US West terminate crude also has fallen to trade at 62.98, and see how all this is going to go. As we are seeing, that the tension is easing. Let's see the first decline for in 7 weeks. Let's see how far it's also going to go. Let's quickly look at what is happening in the US, because our time that we can come back to our topic today is very, very important. I will see that our market is hitting all-time high. How are we going to take advantage of it? Is it time to start running out to the market? It's just a time for us to accumulate more. We share other want to Nigeria market and also some Africa. Right now, to speak, I'll tell you that US market, all eyes are still on earnings, and also I'll tell you economic data is what all eyes are to speak now. And even also I'll be focused on Japan and Prime Minister big news also in that region. But as we speak now, I'll tell you that most of the index in US market are in green. Despite it's likely, but I'll tell you they are also looking up right now. And that's a good news. And that's also another good way to start a new week. I can see that chip makers, for home means it's also set to report today, report their earnings today, and investors are waiting to see flood of other corporate earnings, in that market this day, this week also. Let's wait and see why Japan market after the Prime Minister, develop Danboro pays out, but we can see that it's a good news right now for them. As we speak now, this Monday morning, like I said, that US industries are looking up. We're seeing that Dow Jones is up by almost 0.2% right now. S&P is also up by 0.1, and that of Nasdaq is also by 0.1 right now. But the main, averages in the market I say that reflect an uptrend extending on the previous day section, rebound. And that's also what is also we're seeing now after we have seen earlier losses the previous week. But let's see how this is sustained. And this is fueled by concern by that as a renewed or a rekindled buying interest in artificial related companies and other to see how all this is going to play out in this new week. But don't forget that at the end of the day, everyone in the market is where to make money. You must understand what is the market where you trade and also take advantage of that also to make money for yourself. Consider and those have sold above the 50,000 level for the first time ever. Also why I said the benchmark also S&P 500 also gained nearly almost 2%, and the S&P 500 also gained nearly almost 2%, and that of text, Nasdaq is also up by what, roughly 2.10. For me, it's a good one on weekly, or for me, it's a good one for today. And the market is starting extending what we saw on Friday. So it's a good market start for the market. See, I can tell you that most stocks, investors are looking at their result and see analyzing the result that came from Alphabet, also the one that came from Amazon and other banks now. I think all this digestion phase we are seeing, even that market is also going up in the face of digestion of these numbers. For me, it's a good one for the market. But I said, as spot eyes are still on earnings that are expected to hit the market this period from Monday today to Friday, including economic data. This action that also give a clear direction where the market is going. But I'll tell you there is a big win today, in Japan at the outcome of the election there. For me, it's a good one. And gold has hit another all-time high. I've seen the price of gold both in the US, in Europe, Asia is also going up. While that of silver also has also inch up again today after we've seen the metal market last before now. We've seen a rebound from what was last week. The sluggish went for the mind of for safe havens because of profit taking. But let's see how far it will go. But I tell you, necessity of surrounding this monetary policy is still there. Even as oil price is also looking down after US and Iran suggested that they will continue to negotiate over nuclear aviation and other stuff, signaling cooling, regional tension. Well, let's see how it's going to go at the end of the day. For me, there's no cause for that. Africa market is doing well right from the first trading day of the year. Last year we saw that trend has been sustained after. That's why we saw some profit taking and this trend. But as we speak now, most of this market in Africa and some other emerging markets are looking in green. But yes, we want to look at what is happening in NGX. Right now, NGX is also in green, extending the markup phase as to speak. But right now, before we go to the topic for today, our topic today is NGX at a new all-time high and what and a markup phase. What next for traders and what next for what? What next for trader and investor? This one is very, very important. I want to know what are we doing from here. But before that, let's look at what is the market data is doing to us right now. But as we speak, I tell you that market is really making an all-time high. As we speak now, the index is trading 171,986, heading to almost 72,000 mark, 9.50. At the range of market have recorded the range of 171,577.85 to 171,986. But this is where the market is right now, and this is the peak of the market as of today, and also for Nigeria for the first time ever. It will as to speak now, and that I think that market is up today by 0.15, which is almost a 0.2, representing about 259.01 basic point in the green. For me, it's a good news. If you look at the market bread for market timer is still very, very much positive this month. We're saying about 23 advances in the market today at this hour, and that of 18 decliner. For me, it's a good news for the market. Like I've said earlier, that our topic today is we're looking at NGS, all-time high. All-time high, what is in for here. At this point, we're seeing it in the face of a markup. You can see where market has attended before this markup was seen, accumulation phase after that. But now, it is a new markup now. What is in for what traders and investors? You must understand the phase the market is. And that is very, very important, because I tell you that, yes, in the history of the market, we say this recent surge is what is a welcome development. It shows that this is a significant event in the market. But this does not guarantee profit at this point. But at this time, we need to separate what short-term traders perspective from long-term investors strategy. You need to do it, because at this point, the market at this point, what next? Especially as we expect to see corporate action, dividend announcement coming from different components, especially for those that not release their results in the first month of the year. But even those that release the first month of the year still have between now and the end of March. That means between February the end of March, we will see corporate action indeed. Now the market is making a new all-time. It is time to understand what phase the market and what are the factors behind this rally. Is it going to be sustainable? You must understand, because that is only where you can know what to do. Because I tell you, at this point, we are seeing a markup phase. Smart monies are pushing the prices up, and this time you see that we are attracting the public to participate, increasing participation. But you and I that is in this class, we need to also be careful, and that's why knowing the factors that are behind this markup is very, very key. But how can you take advantage? How can you also trade at this point? But for us, for make it snappy, for those data factors that are behind this all-time high we are seeing today is for one, macroeconomic data reforms. We are seeing the current administration reforms also flowing in, naira float, and all of them. All these are coming in. For me, it's a good one. We are seeing stronger earnings, even when prices have gone ahead of this earnings. But still, the numbers that are coming to the market as review for the one I've seen in Q1. Any moment from now, from the next week, we start seeing February results that also come with corporate action and audited account. But speak now, we're seeing some strong corporate earnings, and not only this season, we've seen in Q1, Q2, and that trend has been sustained, as as they were into a new year. Yes, we're seeing that inflation figure that is almost near above 30 is also now gradually pulling down. For me, it's a good news. But I tell you, all eyes are still on macroeconomic data to see what inflation for the month of January look like. After for December, that we now saw that the December inflation for January was around 15.15 or 15.2. Let's put that way. This also will give us the correct direction, but we are seeing improved investor sentiment in the market, and this shows that there's a renewed hope for the structural economic improvement. But this is also driving both local and those foreign or diaspora, or even Nigerians abroad to the market. But I tell you, liquidity and speculation is another that we should also pay attention to, because I tell you, this rally, will it be sustained or not? I tell you, at this point, traders and retail investors chasing momentum, you have to also be very careful at this point. At this peak, market is already loaded. What are going to explain that which stocks are going to move higher? Pay attention to this because it's very, very important because we are talking about traders here and talking about investors. How will we navigate this thing? For those that are long-term, short-term investors or long-term investors, you must understand that there's different strategy for you to work to navigate the price. For those that are short-term investors, increasing volatility is inevitable at this time. But how can take this opportunity? Any sharp pullback at this time, due to profit taking or certain rejection, also create opportunity for you to buy. But what are you buying? That is why you must play, this market technically, using your watch was support resistance level and your volume confirmation to know exactly what to do. Any breakout you are seeing today on a good volume, you can take that advantage to trade. But don't forget that in between that support level and resistance, even when you are keeping your eyes on volume to confirm your breakout, it's good, but you must also make sure that you are smart enough to take profit. Don't be greedy. And as you are entering on, know that it is time to also to manage risk. Yes, manage risk also. Even as also sector rotation will continue as we see more results. And this shift we are seeing from from leaders in some sectors to some coming up emerging some stock in some sector. You must watch out all this and see where money is flowing to, because I see there is money flowing into industrial goods, is flowing into banking stock, is flowing into oil and gas. You must pay attention. But I'll tell you at this point what is paramount to me and not to you should be what risk management. You must manage risk. That is why you must not trade without what using your stop loss. It's very, very important at this time. You must do what I expect I tell you. For those that follow us all this while, as you are planning to enter stock, you must have your buy range, your stop loss, your profit target, and reason what you are buying, what are attracted to that case must be there. And also don't follow bad weapon. I know at times fear of missing out can also allow you to enter the market at the peak. If you see that there is no opportunity in the market, hold your money and what a pullback is opportunity. But at this time, beware of what people rushing to the market and you are throwing that bandwagon. No, you must apply caution. Yes, also the negative news also might come that also might put kind of deflate this renewed hope we are seeing in terms of buying. Also, neither I think can spark anytime. He in the physical market can also come for that. You must understand what you are doing in the market. Also, political uncertainties that come with the election year. That means at this time factor them in because this is a movement. This is the first quarter of the year that we entering by March. But as I said, you must pay attention to earnings. But for those that are thinking long term, for me, there's no cause for alarm. But don't look at index, look beyond index for those that are thinking long. That means now you focus on what or fundamentally sound stocks when you are picking your stock. Don't play with your valuation metrics for those that are long term. But for we that are short term, the valuation, the technique for valuation, fundamental it's all to pick them, but I think right price to buy is what they can do. But for those that are fundamental that are thinking long and those that you must buy stocks that have good fundamental, pay attention to your price to earnings ratio is very, very key. Know that this is a simple way for you to also understand when there's high prices, you will know because historical high tells you a story compared to what sectoral average is very, very key. Then quality of earnings here you must understand because profit drives sustain operation, also sustain gains, and also this you must look at what is the quality of earnings. Is it one of the FX gain that you are seeing in their numbers? You must understand these numbers are coming. What is the level of debt in that company? Pay attention to it. Also management guidance where they are going. Yes, very key. The environment the company is operating, navigating around inflation figure or interest rate, how all this is going to play. Yes, the naira average discipline is there. Naira average is also if you want to pay attention to that, so that they give you an insight of what to do. Then sectors that are very resilient and also very strong, no matter the component defensive, pay attention to those sectors. Pricing power is very, very key. Strong balance sheet, don't or robust balance sheet, don't look away from it. Low debt, good cash flow is pay attention to this forward. For those we are looking at pricing also very ability to also to go past what the inflationary cost, how we're going to see. So very good. Have essential their goods or services. Company that has essential goods or services, no matter what's happening, you must pay attention to them. Yes, to rebalance your portfolio at this point because I tell you that is the only way to go. Don't at this point just buy for buying sake. You have to trade with caution. Whether you're a trader or investor, that's why I say you must pay attention at this critical point that the market is experiencing a markup at its peak. No, don't forget that market, if you look at this chart here, market has a trend here at this point of you can call it distribution, you can call it accumulation, you can call it what you call because it was above the T line. Let me quickly call that T line up here in this class because of our time. Let's quickly call up the T line so that I can get clarity on what I'm saying. Our moving average exponential, money flow, and what, and and MACD. Yes, we'll turn this one towards to 8. Quick one because of our time. Good one. You can see that when at this point, yes, I told you earlier in this one that this our T line serve as what as resistance and also support for us to know the momentum in the market. I tell you that whenever you see that the index action and price action is above the T line, that's a strong momentum. But when it's below line, it's what weak momentum. Right now, I see that all this while, even from December, you can see from yourself now, you can see that market across the index like remain above the T line. Even when it was at it didn't break down the T line. Strong one. Even when money flow left, when the market was at trend, at this time they were profit taking, while some design investors were accumulating some stocks and people are selling before this different markup. You can see that funds that left the market are gradually also coming back to this market. As we speak now, on a daily chart, on a daily time frame, the money flow is already in almost 70. That's about 69. 7 for me it's a strong one that fund is coming. And also MACD have given us a sign that confirm on the knowledge that yes, you can see that MACD have turned bullish again. You can see that the blue one across the T line is a good sign that the market is on the daily chart. That's why you must be cautious at this time, especially for short-term prayer, because correction and pullback is necessary, is imminent or underway. That means you must watch toward the near term, what is happening in the market, because I tell you the market has overextended, to in near term that things correction might come. That's why you must pay attention. We have seen different consolidation phase, even why that consolidation will serve as accumulation. This is a consolidation phase, and before this markup, we have seen it. Also it's possible I can turn to a pullback. I'll tell that even as market is still healthy because market is trading above the T9, but not to be carried away. At this time, you want to pay attention to what managing risk. Risk is big at this time. Yes, the economic macro data can collapse anytime and also rebalance anytime. See, you have to pay attention. Failure to stabilize naira, all this the inflation rebounding, these are not good news. But for that, you must pay attention to all this. But for me, traders should switch toward a more cautious mode and be more tactical, try to protect their capital and trade with what and trade with trade, but respect support level anytime needed. Be fearful when others are what are greedy. Then another word for investor, my word for you now is that this period, you need to review your portfolio, trim some position, then look away from overvalued stocks for those that then and build watch list for those stocks that has a good quality test of quality numbers we are seeing from them. Pay attention to those companies, and I tell you, you can buy at a better price when there's a pullback, there's a market dip. Don't forget that. For all that are in the market, for me, stay informed and also watch out what economic data and those things that will trigger what price, especially as far as on numbers and also the first MPC meeting coming this February. Or let's pay attention to see the outcome of Central Bank of Nigeria position at the first investment window. See what is happening, in the physical market. You saw what happened in the last week, the KGB market. You saw the decline in the 704 days. See how fund also moved to the market to show that we are seeing fund coming back to the market. You see how cap stock moving. You must pay attention to all this. I tell you, even though you understand the whole thing, but also have your time frame to play the market, and also be disciplined with your strategy and pay attention to what your own timing is very, very important. Yes, let's come back to see one or two stocks that are looking up now. Yes, market can see that even market was more green now. I see that also people can see almost flat now. But let's look at two stocks here now. Look at what is happening in Wima Bank. So what is happening in Wima Bank is very, very important for us because of our time frame. Look at our time when let's see Wima Bank, even at on a daily chart, you can see it's trading on above the T line, and also it's from that buyers and sellers are really fighting on this stock. Look at the candlestick now. You can see that they carry it up, pull it down, they carry it down, pull it down. And see like indecision at this point. But tell you the fundamental, the number that came from the company is not bad at all. You can see that fund left the stock before earlier, like you can see that it's coming back again. You can keep looking up. The stock normally is positive, as it's bullish, and this on a daily time frame. Sorry, let's quickly look at 1 hour chart. What is happening in that stock? On 1 hour chart, you can see that also still trading above the T line, can see that this is the stronger candlestick here. Blue, good one. Can see morning flow, someone reading 85. Yes, but MACD is also coming up, bit bearish. But once it crossed, you can see sign already. Once this one come, for me, it's a good one on a 1 hour chart for the stock. But if you look at what is the weekly chart also, because it has the work giving us information also for this market. On a weekly chart, we're seeing that the stock is also trading above the T9. For me, it's a good one. Strong normally, strong money flow into the stock is a good one. Another one time is on and off. Oh, sorry, I keep me sign again. Let's look at what is happening in NACO as we speak. Let's see the position of NACO. One of the SRV. NACO as we speak now has almost tested 15 naira this morning. And see that is in between the price of NACO. Money flow is also on sorry on a weekly chart. It's still very very bullish above the T line. Money flow is around 54, and you can see that MACD is what is bullish. For quick one, let's go to a day chart and look at the 1 hour chart before we call it. For 1 hour chart, the stock has broken out the last 127 on a strong demand. Can see that it has gotten almost 150 right now. I can see that money flow for me is flat here, but looking up marginally, and MACD is bullish on a day chart. For quick one, want to look at what is being on a 1 hour chart. This is very very important for you and I. On a 1 hour chart, you can see that this stock has still buyers and traders are fast before now. The current chart now telling us look at just the last 1 hour. We're just between the one after this class and now you can see that it's still very very strong. Green candlestick around 150 now, and you can see that MACD is bullish. Money flow is already in 90. That means fund is entering this call if not on a daily basis. You can also go as well as looking at another word under 15 minutes chart. Let's look at it again. 15 minutes chart, I know that there's still fund flattening around the 150. Let's keep our finger crossed on this stock. Money flow is still, even though looking down, but looking up marginally here. MACD is bullish, but it's looking down there on 15 minutes chart. Money flow is also reading 91. It shows that there's no fund entering the stock. For me, it's a good one. Let's pay attention to this stock and others in the market. There are others in the industry also. Life of Everton, a life of Sako, and every other one. Let's pay attention and see the momentum that differs and where should be our tent. On this note, I will say thank you. See you on Wednesday. Hopefully, bye.